Welcome to Read Across America with Miss Terrell. I'm excited to have you here, and I can't wait to share four books with you. After we finish, then we're going to log our reading, and in between each book, you're going to hear the secret code. So at the end, you can enter that code into Beanstack, and then you're going to earn your tickets. Let's get started. Our first book is Vacation. Vacation is by Amy Dickman and Mark Teague. And we're going to read, this book is actually in four stories. So it's kind of like four chapters, but four little parts. We're going to read a little bit of story one. But Cat and Rat love the cozy home they share. But a vacation would be nice, said Cat. It would, said Bat. It would, said Rat. They peeked in their vacation jar. Empty, said Cat. It's time to work. Everyone said Rat. Everyone said Cat. Everyone got ready to work. They washed cars, working at the car wash. But Rat washed Cat. Eek, said Cat. Hee hee, said Rat. They sold snacks, but Rat ate half. Eek, said Cat. Hee hee, said Rat. Mmm. They babysat, but Rat didn't sit. Eek, said Rat. Hee hee, said Cat. They worked and they saved. Wow, I wonder what happened. I wonder if they got to go on vacation. So you'll have to see in part two, three, and four. Would you like to read Vacation? It's right here in our library. So after we read this, now you can go over and you can log your reading in Beanstack. Do you know how to do that? There's a video in our library catalog that shows you how. So pause for a minute, log your reading, and then we're going to read our next book. See you in a minute. Our next book is Growing Home. Growing Home by Beth Ferry and art by the Fan Brothers. Well, isn't this a great book since some of our students are learning about trees and plant parts and things of that nature? So let's dive right in. Growing Home. This blurb says that the only thing to note about number three, Ramshorn Drive, was the big oak tree in front and what went on inside. I can promise you it won't be what you are expecting. Wow, let's see what's inside. This is a chapter book. Some of our second graders might be really interested, but I know some of us are learning about trees and things. So let's see what's going on inside. Let's look at the prologue. That's the intro of a book to get you interested. Number three, Ramshorn Drive was a modest, respectable looking house. It didn't have a set of fearsome stone lions like the house to its left. It didn't have a fancy circular driveway like the house to its right. There were no rams to be found there, no sheep either, which was perfectly acceptable to the owners of the house, who were not really fond of rams or sheep or animals in general. The only thing to note about number three Ramshorn Drive was the big oak tree in the front yard and what went on inside. I can promise you it won't be what you were expecting, unless, of course, you are expecting a story about two plants, a spider, and a magical fish tank. Oh, and cheese puffs, and lots of cheese puffs. If you are expecting that, then this is a story for you. Cheese puff, lots and lots of cheese puffs. Mmm. Let's see what's going to happen in part one, the beginning. This story has lots of chapters. Who's going to check this out in the library? Growing Home. It's available in our library starting on Monday. Don't forget to log your reading for this book and let's see what's up next. Oh, did I forget the secret code? For the first book, it was three. For the second book, it is 1. Let's see what the next two numbers are going to be. See you on the next book. Our next book is History Smashers, Women's Right to Vote. Were you waiting on a graphic novel, fourth and fifth graders? Well, here you go. And I heard that fourth grade was studying women's suffrage. Perfect topic, right? Here we go. Now, this book is going to interest you. I love the way that it starts out in the introduction. And look at this table of contents. It's all divided up so you can go right to what you're most interested in, chapter 1 through 10, and you can find the topic that you're looking for. So we're just going to read the introduction. Let's go. You've probably heard stories about how American women won the right to vote. Chances are you learned about Susan B. Anthony, who fought for that right along with some of her friends. It's true that for a long time in America, only men could vote. That went on for more than 100 years until women got so angry that they did something about it. Maybe this is where you've imagined Susan B. Anthony and her pals coming into the story. A group of women in fancy hats, drinking tea, writing letters, and talking about equality. But that's just a tiny part of what happened. The true story about women's right to vote is a lot longer and more complicated than that. And Susan B. Anthony was just a part of the bigger picture. A story of women who worked together but also fought with one another. They argued over everything from who should get the vote to how they should go about making change. Sometimes those women had one another's backs, and sometimes they didn't. Some of some of the same white women who talked and wrote about justice and and equality fought hard to keep women of color living separate and unequal lives. Sometimes the women who fought for voting rights were heroes, and sometimes not so much. Some of them worked hard to hide the contributions of other heroes because of the color of their skin. In the end, the story of the women's fight for the right to vote is a much messier one than history books like to share. Let's smash that old story. Here's the real deal. So, wow, we're going to hear the real story of the women's right to vote in History Smashers. So you're going to see some great graphics that go along with the story. So that's going to be a wonderful way to experience the story. Are you going to check out this book in the library? Don't forget to come on in on Monday. And now you can log your reading in Beanstack. And here is the next part of the secret code 1. Remember, it was 311. And the last number is coming with the fourth book. See you next time. Our last book. Last book. Oh my gosh, almost time to stop reading. Have you guys had fun? I sure have. Last book for the day is Lone Wolf Goes to the Library. I sure have enjoyed having you inside our digital library today. So, Lone Wolf Goes to the Library is written by Kia Thomas with pictures by K. Steele. And maybe we're going to get through. This book has chapters. So let's see if we can read 2. Chapter 1, The Postman. Wolf was reading his library book. He thought about the words. He enjoyed the sound of the pages turning. It was very nice. Mail, called the careless postman. Grrr, said Wolf, but no mail arrived. The next day, Wolf was reading again. Mail, called the careless postman. Grrr, said the wolf. He was up to a very good part in his book, but no mail arrived. The next day, Wolf finished his book. He stretched his arms. He picked up his watering can. Mail, called the careless postman. A letter smacked Wolf in the bottom. Wolf looked around his garden. There was a letter in the rose bush. There was a letter in the fountain. There was a letter in his fur. Grrr, said Wolf. Chapter 2, the letters. Letter 1. To Wolf, your library book is due tomorrow. From the stern librarian. Brr, said Wolf. Letter 2. To Wolf, your library book is due today. From stern librarian. Brr, said Wolf. Letter 3. To Wolf, your library book was due yesterday. If you do not return the book by the end of story time today, you will never ever be allowed to check out another book again. From Stern Librarian. Grrr, said Wolf. Chapter 3, by mail. Wonder what's going to happen. Well, guess what? We have Lone Wolf goes to the library in our library, and we also have Lone Wolf gets a pet. We have Lone Wolf goes to school. We have Lone Wolf on vacation. So come on to the library on Monday. You could get one of any of these books. And guys, don't forget, go into Beanstack, log your reading that you did with me today, and put in the secret code. It is 3115 and earn your 20 tickets. I hope you guys had fun today. I hope you did all your digital learning assignments. And don't forget, visit all your other special teachers classes as well. And have a great digital learning day. Have a fun Friday. And we can't wait to see you back at Centerville Elementary on Monday. See you soon.